Have you ever had that feeling, that you're kind of just going through the motions, living a life that maybe you didn't consciously choose? Well, today, we're going to talk about how to shift from feeling stuck to becoming the real, active architect of your own mind. So, let's dive in.
This idea from Carl Jung, wow, it's so powerful, and it's really our starting point. What he's saying is that so much of what happens to us isn't just random luck. It's often the result of these invisible scripts, these unconscious patterns that are running the show without us even realizing it. They're controlling our choices, and in the end, we just call it fate.
So, what is this invisible script, really? At its core, it's built on something called neuroassociations. And these are the very foundation of our habits, our beliefs, and honestly, the reality we experience every single day.
Okay, this concept is so simple, but it's absolutely life-changing when you get it. Every time you think a thought or do an action, you're strengthening a pathway in your brain. Just think of it like walking the same path in a forest over and over. Eventually, you carve out a clear road. That's why old habits feel so automatic and unbreakable. But here's the amazing part. You can always build new roads. And that, right there, brings us to the solution: actively rewiring your own mind. Now, this isn't just some kind of wishful thinking. It's about consciously, intentionally choosing a new direction for your thoughts. To really get a handle on this, let's use a little metaphor. Imagine your mind has two main paths you can walk down. There's the red line. That's the old story, right? The familiar automatic loop of doubt, fear, and just feeling stuck. But then there's the green line. This is the new story, the new beliefs you want to live by. It's the path to freedom, to joy. Now, every single thought you have, every choice you make, is like watering one of these two paths. It either reinforces that old worn-out red line, or it helps that new green line grow stronger. The crucial question is, which path are you choosing to nourish? And this is so key. Rewriting those beliefs isn't magic. Reconditioning your mind means you are actively choosing the green line, day by day, moment by moment. You're making these small, intentional efforts to water that new path until it becomes your brain's new normal, its new default setting. So, okay, how do we actually start doing this? Where do we begin taking practical action? It all starts with a really critical mindset shift. See, we often think our biggest problem is a lack of time, but the real resource we need to manage is our focus. I mean, this just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The challenge isn't about cramming more hours into the day. It's about becoming a fierce protector of your energy. It's about learning to identify and say no to the things that are draining you, the things that aren't actually aligned with the life you truly want to build. This is the million-dollar question, right? And to figure it out, we need a clear, objective tool. And that tool is something I call the energy audit. This is a super simple but incredibly profound exercise. First, you just list everything, all your big activities and commitments. Then you go through and honestly label each one. Is it an energy drain that leaves you tired, or an energy gain that leaves you feeling fulfilled? Finally, you pinpoint your top 3 of each. This isn't about judging yourself. It's just about getting crystal clear on where your energy is really going. All right, once you've got that amazing clarity from your audit, you can turn those insights into a real, concrete action plan. This is the moment you move from just being aware to actually making strategic decisions about your life. This framework is your new best friend for making decisions. For the things that give you energy, your top gains, you keep and amplify them. Protect that time. They become non-negotiable. Then, for the necessary drains, the stuff you can't just drop, you find ways to reduce and redesign them. Maybe you batch tasks or set time limits. And finally, for the drains that just don't serve you anymore, you learn to remove and release them. You see, all this practical work, the audits, the frameworks, all of it, it's all serving a much, much bigger purpose. It's about designing a life that feels genuinely authentic and joyful, not just on vacation, but day by day. And this is where it all comes together. True happiness is built in these small, intentional moments. It's about being fully present in what you're doing. It's about leaving a little room for spontaneity. It's about connecting deeply with the people who really matter. And, most importantly, it's about actively prioritizing the joy you discovered in your energy audit. This quote just captures the spirit of this whole journey so perfectly. Creating a life you love isn't about finally reaching some far-off finish line where everything is perfect. It's about the quality of your attention, the intention you bring to each and every step you take along the way.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final thought. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. You just have to be clear on your direction. Every single day gives you a new choice, a new chance to water that green line path we talked about. So the only real question is, what direction will you choose today?